Hi, welcome to this week's vlog. No decorative stitching this week, I'm afraid. We're all about mounting. So first of all, the first project I want to share with you is I've been mounting the frog. So here you can see it at its second part of the mounting process. So I've done this around the edging, the herringbone, which stitches that onto the pre-prepared mount board, and then I've been doing lacing. Now the under thing of lacing, that's all nicely tightened. This one isn't tightened yet. Just wanted to show you part of it before we lost the light. It's rather dark today, and although lots of people like autumn as their favourite season, I'm afraid I'm not a fan. I find it rather dark and damp and yeah, a bit cold and dreary. But here's a fella to cheer us all up. So I'm actually pleased with this. It's come out well. The puckering here hasn't reappeared, but I think the lacing is necessary to keep it that way. I have been doing quite a lot of mounting recently, so I'll show you a few more projects and that gives you an idea of a bit more of the process. This is another one that's in progress. You can see it's rather lifted there. It's not done very well. I actually learned to tighten my stitches recently, so I think that helped the frog to stay on better. This one hasn't been laced yet and clearly it needs it, so that's the first stage here with this sewn on. The mount board is prepared by sticking two boards of the correct size together and then covering it with some simple lightweight calico, gluing that on around here. As my teacher Heather would say, remember not to glue it around the outside, otherwise it's absolute murder to stitch through the glue. Thankfully I have no personal experience of that, but I can take her word for it. So then after pinning the piece around the board, stitch it down, and as you can see this definitely does need a little extra something. And back to the frog again, and that's where the lacing comes in. That will pull it tighter. Well, so much for the theory anyway. This one has actually been laced, but in one direction it seems to have sagged, so what it needs is me to tighten the lacing horizontally, but this one is already backed. Now this is how the RSN do their mounting. Now I wouldn't normally bother doing a backing for a piece I was going to frame, but this one I have because I'm not going to frame this. It's just going to be kept in a portfolio as a sampler. So what I'm going to have to do is I'll take the backing off and then tighten the lacing there to make that a bit smoother. But that's the last stage. Here's one that was done a couple of weeks ago, and that's completely finished and it hasn't bagged yet, so hopefully that's going to stay that way. It's a little bit looser than I would like, but again it's not for framing, it's just for personal reference, so that's backed there. That was one of the hand and lock courses. And last of all, this is one I also mounted recently. This was one of the, technically it's called a day class, but it was actually an evening class, 2 hours over 4 weeks, or rather 8 hours over 4 weeks, 2 hours each time, and it was experimental embroidery, and we did these applique sections and then some beading and sequin work and things like that. So it was a lot of fun to do this. Focus on that nicely. So I really enjoyed doing that. It was good fun. This I've only done the herringbone on so far. Seeing how it settles, I may lace it prior to framing, perhaps just a little general lacing, nothing too tight. So the question is, do I do all of this for every piece? Well, as you can see from this, no, not necessarily. If it's something that's fairly heavy embroidery like beadwork, gold work, or the stump work sampler you saw before that had bagged a little bit, then yes, I will do a double mount board and do the herringbone stitching on there because I want it to hold it nice and firmly so that nothing will sag in the long run. If it's something that's a lot more lightweight and that needs really more just keeping straight and even, like a cross stitch or something like that, then I'll just use a single mount board and I won't cover it with calico. I'll just pin it round the board as you would do with any piece and then just do a lacing that will keep it in place. This piece that I collected from the framer last week is a good example of that. Unfortunately I can't show you the back of that because it's already framed, but that was just done in the simplest way that it could be, and it worked well. I was glad to say the lines are probably as straight as one could hope for. Okay, that's it for today. There will be a floss tube style video coming out shortly. I just need to edit it. I need to learn how to edit it first. And then hopefully over the next few weeks there will be sort of video reports from the Art Context exhibition, which is taking place in Colchester as I speak, and then there's a knit and stitch show next week. So hopefully I'll get something out about that. Can't guarantee it, but we'll do our best. Okay, thanks for being with me today. Bye now.